Hello, I'm Di Coke and I write about how to find, enter and win competitions on my blog Super Lucky. This is my guide to Twitter for compers, so it's 14 tips for compers who love tweeting. Now, Twitter's a brilliant resource for finding competitions, and not only that, it's actually an easy way to keep up with the latest news and to chat to like-minded people. I hope you find this video guide useful, and don't forget to follow me at Super Lucky Di. So my first Twitter tip is to put yourself in the shoes of the promoter and think about how winners are chosen. Not every promoter knows how to do this fairly. Now, there are tools available to choose a winner. I've got a competition here that I ran last year and I'll show you how I picked my winner. You copy the link to the tweet and then you go to a website called TweetDraw, which is at competitionagency.com. You log into your Twitter account and then you paste in the link to the competition. And what you'll see here is that I obviously already picked my winner back in December, and it then gives you the number of entries and it chooses your random winner for you. And then you can actually tweet directly from this site to prove that you've done this draw fairly. So there's other tools that can do this. There's Easy Promos and Comment Picker, and that is what I would hope most agencies are using. They are using a proper tool to do things fairly. However, a lot of companies on Twitter, they're smaller. They're not going to be doing something like that. They probably don't even know how to do that. So you need to put yourself in their shoes. Now, I've saved a few tweets here to show you. This competition here from Talk Norwich City, quite a niche competition. So think about how they're going to choose their winner. They're probably not going to use a tool like TweetDraw, to be honest. Let's look at the retweets so far. So if they're not using a tool, they're just going to be looking at retweets and probably swiping through like this, picking a winner. What are they going to pick? Norwich City colours, I would imagine. The green and the yellow are going to stand out for them because they will want someone who's a Norwich City fan to win this competition. So if there are things you're interested in, think about that. What can you put in your bio that stands out? So if someone's picking a winner like this, they're going to pick you. That's what you need to think about. Also notice that a lot of people don't have a bio here. This is your opportunity to stand out, to put some information in about yourselves, put some emojis in. Think about profile pictures as well. Some of these are so tiny you can't see what they are. It's good to see someone's full face in a profile picture because they're really small, and these sort of things will influence. You can see here it's actually a photo of Norwich City players, so that again might stand out with a small giveaway like this. You should also be aware on Twitter that a lot of giveaways aren't only on Twitter. So even though you might think there's not many entries, that could be running on Facebook and Instagram as well. Now, Hughes Direct do this all the time, but they do make it clear here it can be entered on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, but not every promoter is going to do this. So be aware that you might be entering on Twitter, they might pick a winner from Instagram, so you're not even in the draw. So do check, go to their Instagram and Facebook pages as well, just to see if you can get extra entries in, because if they're not choosing from Twitter, you've got no chance of winning. Some promoters will tweet a competition several times. Make sure you enter on every separate tweet. It could be that they're using a paid tool, which will combine all the entries into one draw. However, a lot of them will just choose one of their many competition tweets, and they will literally just pick a winner from the retweets on that single tweet. So make sure you enter on every tweet. Now, for some competitions, the promoter wants you to reply as well as retweet, like this one from Boohoo Man here. So if we just scroll down and look at the replies, you can see that replies with photographs, with more copy, with GIFs, they are top of the replies list. And as you scroll through, you'll see that the replies without any pictures are all towards the bottom. So depending on how Boohoo Man pick their winner, it could well be that they choose from those earliest replies, which have got more activity going on. So if you've got time to add a photo or a GIF to your tweet, then that also might give you a better chance of winning. My next tip is to use Twitter like a real person would. So make sure that you've got a profile picture, a photograph at the top, and that you've completed your bio. Don't refer to comping or competitions in your username or your bio. A lot of promoters, unfortunately, don't like giveaway accounts and they don't want compers to win. And if your feed is completely full of competition retweets, that won't help either. So make sure you're interacting with companies and friends and people that aren't related to competitions. Make sure you engage and you also send your own original content, photographs, and just get involved with Twitter like normal people use it. The next tip is to always reply to a retweet competition. I've got a competition here. It's actually asking you to simply retweet with the book in the box hashtag. Now, it's weird when people ask you to do this because it's basically just a retweet, because every retweet has got that hashtag in the content. Some people think this means to quote tweet and add the hashtag, but actually when you quote tweet, this is no good because the quote tweet is not on the retweet list and it won't be picked up if they're using a proper tool to choose from retweets. So unless they specifically say to quote tweet, don't do it. Just do a normal retweet, and what I recommend is you always reply using the hashtag instead. What I tend to do is also add something else. So I've said my mum would love this, and book in the box, hashtag and tweet. So when you're replying to a competition tweet, you can add photos, you can add GIFs, you can add emojis. And keep in mind that actually if they are going to scroll through like this and pick it manually, if you send a big GIF or a photograph, you've actually got more chance of them stopping on your entry than if you've just sent one line of text. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Another tip on the topic of replying is if you're replying to a competition, they don't always ask you to retweet. And if they don't mention that you need to retweet, you shouldn't do it, because obviously every time you retweet, your followers are going to see that competition, they will retweet it, and there'll be a lot more entries. So if you want a better chance of winning, don't retweet if they don't ask you to retweet. The next tip is to enter late, and that's because a lot of promoters don't actually pick winners fairly, as I've mentioned. So it could well be that they're just choosing from the latest replies or retweets or mentions. This competition here, for example, it closes in a month's time. Now, on Twitter, it's really hard to find retweets from more than 7 days ago, which is why people run short-dated competitions. So this one, she's not going to be able to find all the retweets from the last month unless she uses a very expensive tool, and I doubt she is. So bookmark it and then enter it towards the closing date. Another reason to enter late is, of course, because if you enter early, all your followers are going to see your retweet and enter as well. So it's going to reduce your chance of winning. Next tip is using all the feeds and timelines that Twitter has on offer. So start with the For You feed, which is what Twitter curates for you and what they think you want to see. Mine's actually really good because generally it will have quite a lot of giveaways in here and from accounts that I don't follow as well. And then you've got following. So you can tap following there at the top, or you can just swipe between your feeds there. So following is all the accounts that you follow. Again, tap the bird at the top and you'll get the latest tweets appearing at the top of your feed. You can also add lists to your main home screen here. So you can see I've got 2 lists. I've got LL, which is my lucky learners, the members of my Facebook group, and I've got K-pop, which is my latest K-pop news. So if I tap on LL, this is also a great resource for competitions because it's got so many members, so many people who are entering comps and retweeting comps. So if I just want to easily find comps, I can find them in this feed. My next tip is to use Twitter lists. So use them to find competitions, but also to find content to interact with that you're interested in for your other hobbies too. So how to get involved with lists. Tap on your profile picture and you'll see lists there. So this shows my pinned list. These are the ones that appear on my home screen. If I tap edit there, it shows me those are the 4 timelines that I get to see when I log into Twitter. And if I swipe down, it's going to suggest some lists that I can follow there. So these are lists that other people have created. And then I can follow them and see all the tweets from the members in those lists. These are the lists that I've created and also that I follow. So if I scroll down here, I've got private lists here, which are marked with a padlock. So if you're creating lists, I suggest you do it privately because you don't want other people to benefit from your hard work. But I've created a lot of these lists which people find useful. So for example, books, I've got 112 members there, so I can tap on that to see. So these are all UK publishers and loads of them run giveaways. You can see I don't follow all of them because I don't want too much book related content in my feed. So I put them in a list. And then if I want to win some books or I'm interested in finding out more or retweeting from the books list, I will just go to books here and scroll through the list to see what's happening. So here's how to create a new list. Tap on the blue button on the bottom and I'm thinking I want to go to the Paris Olympics. So I'm going to call this list Paris 24 and I'm going to make it a private list and create. Now, this is a list where I want to add all the sponsors and the companies involved with the Paris Olympics because I want to win tickets. So I've got a note of some of these. So I know that Airbnb is one to start with. So I'm going to add Airbnb UK and I'm going to add regular Airbnb. Bridgestone tyres as well are likely to be doing some competitions. So I'm going to look for them. Bridgestone UK, add Panasonic UK. And for now, let's just add one more. Toyota are also one of the sponsors. Toyota UK. Great. So if I cancel that, you can see at the bottom here, I've got 5 people on my list and done. So that will now show me a feed, and it's the feed just from those promoters. And in my tweet date video, I show you how you can actually search a list like this for keywords like win, giveaway, and competition to win prizes. So I also mentioned finding other people's lists. So I'm going to do a search here. If you do a search for someone in your local area, a business or a magazine, for example, this is a local magazine. And what you can do when you go to their profile is you can tap the dots at the top and view lists. So here, these are lists that they've created, but if you tap again there, you can see the lists they're on. Now, this can be really helpful because all these lists are likely to be lists that people have curated of Brighton businesses and brands and things like that. So you can see the lists that they're on here, and I'm looking for names of lists that I think maybe might have loads of content on. So this one here, West Sussex, local news, events, businesses, from West Sussex. Now, Georgina's created this list. There's 281 members. I think there's going to be quite a lot of content here for local competition. So I'm going to follow that list and I'm going to go back and I will now see that on my lists home screen. So if I want to find that list, I will go back to my profile, tap lists, and it should now be, what was it called? West Sussex, wasn't it? So they're in alphabetical order, and here it is down at the bottom, and that is automatically pinned for me. So I will now see that on my home feed. So I can go to West Sussex and see what's happening from all these local businesses. Next tip is to use Twitter search to find competitions. I'm thinking along the lines of more obscure and low entry competitions. Regular searches can help you find these things. So tap the magnifier at the bottom to use the search and tap in the search box. You'll see your recent searches there, the profiles you've visited, and also I've got saved searches here. You can only create those on twitter.com on your computer. I'll show you how to do that shortly. And then you can just tap on any of these to search. When you get your search results, always tap latest to make sure that you're looking at the most recent and relevant results. There is a filter at the top here you can tap on, so you can change that to near you. It doesn't always work, to be honest. If you want to look locally, you might want to use keywords, so Brighton or Hove for me, for example. But you can try it, see how it goes. Other things you can search for. Remember that brands tend to promote all their other competitions on Twitter as well. So you can search for something like win TikTok competition, win Facebook, enter on Instagram. There's loads of phrases you can use which are going to help you find low entry competitions. So you can see just an example of some of the saved searches I've got. Win competition, blog competition, win video competition, retweet, follow, win is a classic. Just if you want to find easy to enter Twitter competitions, you should be able to find some by using these. So there's lots of different ideas for using Twitter search. So here's how you save searches using twitter.com. If you go to search Twitter at the top here, I'm going to search for win tickets football. So as usual, you can look at the latest tweets here to find competitions. But if you click on the 3 dots at the top there, you can also save that as a search to your list, and you'll be able to use that saved search on your mobile device as well. From the search results page, you can also go to advanced search. So here you can set up a more advanced search, so win football tickets, but I don't want to win any tickets to see Tottenham or Chelsea. So pop those in and do a search, and then again view the latest results, and you can see at the top there it's got win football tickets minus Tottenham minus Chelsea, meaning it will not show me any results with either of those in. And then again click to save search there, and then to get to your saved searches just clear that box
and scroll down past your recent searches, and there you go, saved searches. So those are the 2 searches that I've just created there.
Related to Twitter search, make sure you're online and entering competitions on any sort of special event day. So you can search for events on Twitter. At the moment, I'm just searching for Easter competition. I don't think it's any special days today. But examples of days that are really busy for competitions are Blue Monday, World Book Day, International Women's Day, International Day of Happiness, things like that. Those kind of days on Twitter, there are going to be so many more competitions than usual. So if you can find a little bit of extra comping time, it should prove fruitful for you. And when you do search, you can search either on the words or you can search on, for example, hashtags. So International Women's Day, let's do, for example. And then what you can do, you will actually have that in your recent searches. So you can just pop onto Twitter a few times during the day. Oh, remember to put win or competition in there as well. And then you can keep popping back to Twitter during the day and looking at the latest results to see if any new competitions come up. So definitely make sure you're on Twitter on event days. The next tip is to set notifications for accounts that you like. This could be accounts that interest you because you like the content they're tweeting, or it could be it's accounts that run loads of giveaways. So I want to set notifications for Promo Veritas, who's a company that I've worked for. They often tweet about their new promotions and the latest news with promotions. So to set notifications, you just tap on the bell at the top, and then you can change that to all tweets and you will get notifications. Now, I don't have notifications set on my phone because I find it quite irritating. So when you've got notifications set for certain accounts, if you tap on the bell at the bottom and go to all, as you scroll through your latest activity, you will see here new tweet notifications for Currys and 6 others. So these are the accounts that I've set notifications of tweets for, and it groups them together here. And when I tap on that, I will see a mini timeline literally with posts from those few brands. So these are brands that run regular competitions and I don't want to miss them, so I can catch up with what they're doing by going to my activity feed, which is really handy. The next tip, it's obvious really, but make sure you're regularly checking your notifications. So you'll get a little blue icon at the bottom here on the bell, and you've got options so you can look at everything here, and you will swipe down to see all the new ones above there. And that will be retweets and mentions, things like that. If you only want to see your mentions, so the @mentions, you can go to mentions and just look at the most important stuff here, because if you've got a lot of retweets in the all feed, it's all a bit bewildering. Next tip is to check your messages inbox regularly, even if there's no blue dot on it, because there could be hidden messages you've not seen. So if you tap on the envelope, at the top here, you can see there's a settings cog. If you tap that, in here, you can allow messages from anyone. So that will be from people that you don't follow. This is a good idea if you comper, because it could well be that you win a competition from an account that you're not following, or it's a different account that actually contacts you. There's also a setting to filter low quality messages, and I'll show you how to find those now. So tap on done when you've changed your settings. Now, message requests, if you've got message requests, you will see this at the top. If you haven't got any requests, you won't see that. Or if you're set up not to receive requests, you won't see it. So tap on that, and these are message requests from people that you don't follow. Underneath the message requests, you can see here it says show. Tap on that, and these are filtered spammy messages. So you can see here I've got unread messages, but that doesn't show up on my envelope because Twitter considers these to be spam. So you can go in these, and obviously this is junk, so I'm going to delete it. And then this one here is also, this is a spam, congratulations, I'm going to delete that as well. I think it's a good idea to set notifications to receive emails when you get a direct message. So you can do that in settings and support, and then in notifications and preferences and email notifications. So in here, I literally only get emails when I get a direct message, just in case it's something important. But I do check my mentions regularly by logging in all the time. Now, how about changing your Twitter name? A lot of people don't realise how easy it is to do this, and you can do it as often as you like. So tap on your profile and edit profile, and this is how you can change your display name here. So you can add in emojis. You've got loads of room to play with here, and you can change this to whatever you want. So Diet Coke is going to Korea, for example. You know, you can have whatever you want there in your display name. So you can see that that's changed to that. If you want to actually edit your username, if you go back to your profile page, and you've got to do this in settings, your account information, and username there. So you can just type in a new username here. I'm not going to do it for mine, but obviously make sure that it's one that nobody's using first. Now, if you do change your username, it's a good idea to let your followers know you've changed names and do a search on your old name for a few weeks, just in case you've won a prize. If you are updating your name, you can also update your photo at the same time. For example, I could put something Korean related in here just temporarily. It makes you look slightly different on Twitter. So, you know, if you feel you're not winning any competitions, it's almost like a bit of a makeover that you can give yourself. Now, try not to let your username give away how old you are. So, for example, if you've got your year of birth in it, it's not a great idea, because some promoters can be biased. They can be biased against compers. They can be biased against older or younger entrants. So it's a good idea to just keep numbers, underscores, any kind of punctuation out of your username. Make it as easy to remember as possible. Next tip, mind your manners. Now, there are some certain elements of Twitter etiquette that you need to know if you're entering competitions. I'm on the Lucky Learners list here, and a lot of this content is going to be retweets. Now, if I want to enter this Boohoo competition, reply to this tweet, I'm going to tap on it, and I need to reply with this text. So I'm going to just copy that, make life easier, and reply, paste that in. So I've got my entry ready here. I've actually just thought of a photograph I can add to it. I've got an album on here that I think is called Random Entries for Competitions. And in here, I know exactly what I'm looking for. It is this photograph of my husband's cut off jeans. So I'm going to tweet that. Now, before I send this, look at the top of the screen, replying to Boohoo Man and Kaylee6688. Now, if I reply to this, Kaylee's going to be in a conversation here. She's going to see my entry in her mentions. That's really annoying for a comper. So what you need to do is tap on the names at the top and uncheck Kaylee's name. So uncheck the comper who retweeted this into your feed, and then when you reply, it's only going to the promoter. It's really important to do this because it can be really frustrating. I get this all the time because I retweet so many competitions, and I will get loads of mentions of compers who've left me tagged, and also I get the mentions when they win too. So it's a good idea to untag that comper before you enter. Next tip, use keyboard shortcuts or text replacement on your mobile device. It is going to save you a ton of time. Let me show you what I mean. So here's a Twitter competition. Follow us, retweet, and tag a book-loving friend. So let's follow, retweet, and tag in the comments. So first of all, obviously, untag Hells there. Okay, I'm going to type in TWN. Now, you can see popped up at the bottom here is that sentence. Hey Natty Lara, have you seen this ace prize? So that's my friend Natalie. That's a really easy way to tag her without me having to type this long sentence. I'm also going to add in though a pile of books because it's a book competition, and tweets. That saved me loads of time. Here's a competition where you need to tag your friends. So that's more than one friend. So for this one, I'm going to tap on comment, and I've got a shortcut set up that's TW2. Tap that at the bottom. Good luck, Lorraine Tiny, Becky Cleary. That's tagged 2 of my friends easily. Tweet. So you can see how that can save you loads of time when you're entering competitions. So setting up your shortcuts, go to settings, and then you want to go to general and keyboard, text replacement. You can see I've got loads here. I've got loads that start with I for Instagram. I've set up tons for Instagram. Down here, I've just got a few for Twitter. So I've got TW2, which tags 2 friends, TW3 tags 3, TWN, which tags Natalie. So one that I'm typing here, which will be useful, is great prize. Thanks for the giveaway. And I'm going to make my shortcut great prize GPT. Now the shortcut needs to be something that you wouldn't normally type. So GP I might be typing if I'm typing about the Grand Prix. So GPT I probably wouldn't. Save that. So if I go back to Twitter now, back on Twitter, I found a easy little competition here. Follow and retweet. And then I'm just going to reply, and then I'm going to use my great prize. Thanks. Done. So you can see how much time the shortcuts save. You can use them to do your address, to do barcode numbers, batch codes for instant win competitions, all sorts of things. But they are really useful in Twitter if you want to rattle through quite a lot of competitions in a short period of time. They're also really helpful for if you've got friends who've got Twitter names that are really hard to remember, so you can shorten it into something that's memorable in your text replacement shortcuts. The final tip is to just watch out for scammers and think twice before you enter competitions on Twitter. Unfortunately, there are people who take advantage of compers on all social media platforms, and sometimes it can be really difficult to work out which giveaways are genuine. Here's one here, a good example. 3 people who like this tweet will win a PS5. Must be following me and Kenzie. So if we look at his account, it's not got that many followers. All it says is daily giveaways. There's no website. What is this guy promoting? You need to think, what is the point of these giveaways? And if there's no point, they're not genuine. So that is absolutely fake. And if you scroll down his timeline, it's just absolute rubbish. So I want to report this guy. I'm going to tap the 3 dots at the top and report. And I'm going to report him for spamming, which is there, and posting misleading links because he's not actually giving things away. You can add tweets as well, so I'm going to tick that one there, and there we go, another one, and I think that's it, and then submit. And then when you've done that, you can block him as well so you don't see him again. So that's what you should do when you see fake giveaways. I hope you found these tips helpful. Don't forget to follow me at Super Lucky Die. I've also got a video guide to using TweetDeck if you fancy learning something a bit more advanced. There's loads more tips on my website and in my books. Good luck with Twitter.